Alright then, let us continue. So,
Oh man.
how many days do you wish to take to recover?
Man.
Uh,
We should probably take at least 2, to be honest.
yeah.
You will not be regaining Gnosis though, unless you can succeed on the meditation roll, and it hasn't been a full week since you last meditated. So your previous
I
build
don't
up would.
need. I don't strictly need Gnosis, so I wouldn't be worried about meditation. I'd be more worried about getting willpower up.
Yeah,
I guess. And
it's up to you. Do you remember what your previous rolls were? Those of you wishing to recover some.
I had one roll before.
Okay, I think you had 2, Axie.
I failed one and then I rolled again, right?
So it's base of what now difficulty?
It's for you. For you, it's gonna be an 8 because the first roll was at 7 because you were in the sept. And you rolled twice, Aru, right?
For
Gnosis, or was it 3 times? Because I remember you rolling a lot.
I think that's because I was the only person who rolled outside of this. I don't need to regain Gnosis anyways, so I'm not gonna roll.
I mean, yeah, if you rolled once previously, it's 8. If you rolled twice, it's 9.
But yeah, I rolled 1 Gnosis recovery back here.
Can I recover willpower?
And
Can
I
I
like 3 Gnosis off of that.
Or do I need to listen to this bullshit?
You can leave if you want, or you can stay and discuss after we wrap up, because we're gonna do a quick epilogue thing as well, revealing things that you didn't know about at the time.
Frank's ashes blow to the wind, or get collected by FBI. Whatever you prefer. Or maybe even the vampires take it.
I don't see how they would ever find the. They're searching for fucking dust amongst dust.
Ash is different from dust.
I mean,
Not really.
turning to dust.
Yes, it is.
They wouldn't be able to figure out what parts are yours. Raph.
Okay. Frank becomes part of the pavement. Here we go. Then he gets stepped on for the rest of his life.
I mean, your spirit left into the Umbra.
Yeah.
You say that, but are you sure about that? You know, Derfman could fuck with spirits so hard.
He would have had to. He didn't get the chance. You are with the ancestors now, as an honored hero. Strangely enough.
You don't get to be angry.
I get to be angry, you fucking traitors. You stabbed me, Jackler. I get to be angry.
It was 1 damage or something, right?
It was.
It was 3.
It was 6, and then I fucking soaked 3 of it.
Sure.
Yeah, because
Fucking
It was a miss, though. It wasn't me trying to hit you.
But
how did I know that? You were like worm corrupted and shit, right?
Yeah. When that does anyone raise that part actually at the sept?
Yeah, like come on. He thinks of the worm and he stabbed me, which led to my death. But it could have been one. It was what part of what led to my death.
I mean, I think I'm the only party member that specifically said he was mourning your death. So.
Wow, so rude. Everybody is so rude. Only the man who killed me.
See, he's sorry, yeah?
Nobody gives a shit about Frank. See, they're all assholes, Chris. I really want to stay here with these guys.
I give a shit about Frank.
Raph, don't be salty. It could have happened to anyone.
Yeah,
you say
I
that.
barely knew you.
It's the way the cookie crumbles. Jackalor died in the first session.
Yeah. You don't get to be salty.
This is literally
that just makes me more salty, Aruman. You just say you don't get to be salty makes me more salty.
Okay, crap. Just go then and chill because
yeah. Have fun.
Yeah. Bye.
I'll watch the episode later. See what I didn't know.
Okay. So Aru, 2 days pass, you get your 2 willpower points for resting up. The elders are busy interring it. The forbidden part of the forest gets entered, and some stones get moved away. It gets put on a pile of other very bad things. Stones get moved back. The usual.
Yeah. Do I get the permanent honor and wisdom since I hit 10 on both of those?
Yes. They
I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would perform those at the end of the second day because they would have been busy till then. But yes, you do get your
Yeah.
permanent ticks.
I'd have maxed honor as well.
Yes. Anything that you have acquired 10 in, you can tick up by a point.
1 point down from getting permanent with the wisdom.
If not for Coyote, eh?
One-
I mean, if not for Kraft and his phone.
Yeah, fucking Craft. Damn it, Craft.
Okay, so
I'm 2 permanent renowned away from being able to hit rank 4.
so close to that Elder Council. Okay, so
Well, I'd just be an
having
acro at that.
recovered, how do you go about finding the vamps and agreeing with them?
You know, I'd probably talk to the Shadow Lord to see what he would think that we should ask for and what we would be willing to fold on. Get advice for the future of for the future negotiations first.
Okay. Emphasize how much damage we have done.
Mhm.
Emphasize that we could easily keep going and that they are barely holding on. Get them to agree as much control and oversight from our part as possible and get as much safety for our interests and our kinfolk as possible. Simple.
Mhm.
Convince them that we have them over a barrel and that we are ready to go to town.
Mhm. Which, considering they were arming up for dealing with an Earthbound, it's not exactly the wrong way to go about it.
You're assuming they even knew about it.
Yeah.
The
I'd be
mouth
surprised if some of the
did.
Malkavians didn't know.
The
But,
mouth did, but that's like assuming that she would tell is kind of iffy given how
Yeah.
things turned out.
I mean,
Never
though,
told anyone.
the whole killing 100 people in the immediate vicinity, just like snuffing out 100 law enforcement officers and the like from the immediate vicinity of the Tremere Chantry, means something big happened there.
Yeah, they assumed that werewolves detonated a spirit bomb.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
if
who
they
the
think it's
fuck do you expect is gonna get blamed for that, really, now, Aru?
Yeah, if they think that we did that, let them think that, and then if they want, then bluffs can be made to attempt to amp that, to play on that idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how do you get in contact with them?
Well, I know that Maxie ran into. Well, I'm almost certain that.
Yeah,
that
you have the
Maxie ran
fucking
into-
Nosferatu.
Yeah, we know about that the Nosferatu are a thing.
Hey.
So, I'd probably communicate with Naxine, at least try and make at least Naxine understand that we need to try and make peace with them, given everything that's going on. There are too many fires to put out, and we can't continue this one.
You do need Firefang with you in case the meeting goes south.
Yeah. I just want to talk to Naxie first, so that the idea of setting a meeting is even possible.
Okay, then play it out in character. Assume you have some sort of lodging in the sept and that you've
Yep.
private meeting of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask Laura if she can describe the Nosferatu for me, and then work with there. I'm assuming she's probably going to ask why, considering what happened before.
Oh. The guy with the knife. I mean, I can try Alpha. Why do you want to know it anyway?
Because this war cannot go on for much longer if we wish to keep the kinfolk and the rest of the Garo nation safe.
I mean, do the elders agree to that?
I already have the backing of the Shadow Lord in this.
Douchebag McCasshole.
I mean, they're kinda shady, but I guess they do Gaia's work in the end. Okay, fine.
Don't like this. Also, by the way, Chris, did I get willpower back from the resting?
Yes, each of you got 2 points for 2 nights of rest.
Yay, I'm no longer at main willpower.
I was out of willpower.
Yeah, I know.
Next.
Well,
Track
now it's
down
time
the
to.
vampires, I guess.
Well,
If
first
our...
talk to Firefang, and then we can track down the Nosferatu.
Yeah. So why did you
going to,
talk?
Oh.
Why were you talking with the fucking leech?
Because we do not have all the answers in this conflict.
They drink blood from humans. How more monstrous could you be? Honestly, they're fucking
I
evil.
sort of give him a flat look. I'm assuming you've run into the black spiral dancers before. They're Pentax, the tales that come out of the.
Vampires we've been born to fight them since the dawn of time. Why would we deal with them? Why?
Because ultimately we cannot keep the kinfolk safe and keep fighting them.
Why not just kill them all then?
Our attempts to fight them ended up with most of my kinfolk dying, most of the kinfolk that I knew dying, and plenty more. And that was just one group of vampires. Do you think we can kill them all? And if you do, then what is the cost of the fight?
Destroy some humans. Don't see how you could understand. Just even though you're lupus.
You don't get it, Aro. To him, they're not even people. Even Homid Garu are second-class citizens.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no. I'm right now. I'm trying to figure out where my where the next step is for this.
I mean, you have to tell him and he has to make a rage roll, I think.
Probably.
I mean, there are bigger fish to fry than vampires. I guess.
I mean, there's also the fact I'm going to say to you, there's also the fact that those powerful bane that even if the leeches are tainted by the worm, they haven't fallen like our old like I sort of trail off there for a minute, and I sort of shake my head, or those the Pentex, the fools at Pentex. Ultimately, if we continue, our first confrontation with the leeches ended in them pulling, and it ended in an incredibly powerful bane creature taking the lives of one of our old.
It just shows us how low they'll stoop just to fight us.
Dracula, make a perception empathy roll.
I don't think he has empathy.
I don't have empathy now.
Doesn't matter, still roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's still 5 dice, so there's a chance.
I'm impressed. I thought I was the only person who stacked 5 points into perception.
But it doesn't
You
matter.
have no idea what he's trying to get at, I guess. You don't realize it yet, not until he spells it out. In terms of what he's trying to do, that is what he wants to do next. Fun, is it?
I mean,
Fun,
we
fun.
can track them down. We can hunt them down one by one if we have to.
We need to make. I sort of blink at that, and then I sort of slump a little bit. We need to make peace with them to ensure that that we can properly fight the Banes that wish to end Gaia's life directly, rather than those that merely.
They
Ignore.
are the Bane that wish to end Gaia's life directly.
Dracula, give me a rage roll at. Oh,
Yep.
actually, yeah, you're rank 2, it's 6 for you.
Yep.
Luckily, the moon is waning, so.
I have 6 rage.
No, chance.
God damn it, don't do it.
He could even go for Worm Frenzy there.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a thing. Nope. I just can't feel the rage.
Yeah, just feel dead inside when he talks about making peace.
After the sacrifices we made, you want to end it all? Just let them go. Let them be. Let them continue to corrupt and destroy Gaia. There's a reason that thing was wasn't under our control in the first place, you know.
And the ones responsible for that are dead. We've dealt. We have
They
dealt with the worst offenders.
they didn't want to destroy it. The others, I'm certain, would have wanted them to take it for themselves. Surely, they wouldn't have destroyed. No, they just take it for themselves again.
There's at least one Tremere Elder looking for where that fucking ring went and how he can get it by now.
I'm sure they're preparing to attack the Sept already.
Give me a wits occult.
Which one of us?
Jackalor. And actually, you two can as well.
Okay, I'll roll. It's difficult to 6, I assume?
Yes.
So everyone's
Yay.
rolling.
Yeah, go ahead. Both
Yeah.
of you, just when Jackalor or when Firefang talks about them wanting it back, can't help but think back to that attack that sent the spirits screaming a couple of days back. And you have a feeling that, you know, yeah, That's a really suspicious coincidence, because stuff like that hadn't happened before that you can remember. And right after you bring that thing inside, something tries to get in after it.
They can't be trusted. And even if you make a deal, how do you know they won't just break their word and kill us all? Some ambush. I don't care about honor.
And then he kissed the ring, Jackalope.
Never. Rather die fighting.
I mean, that is a distinct option. You can
Die
just
for
ask
your
for
slave.
a sit down face to face with their leader and just try to kill him.
Oh my fucking god.
You'd probably die in the attempt, but it is an option.
Fang dagger the guy in the face. Fuck you, bitch.
You wouldn't be able to shift and launch the attack at the same turn without them. Well, you wouldn't be able to. You'd have to shift first. Which makes the whole thing a lot more problematic.
I guess.
I'm trying to figure out how to get Jackalor to in character agree, but
You are the alpha. You could just command him to come
Yeah.
along.
I'm trying to avoid that because I feel that would be a bad idea with his character. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to invoke my authority as alpha over the pack.
What remains of it.
Yeah,
You would
this war has cost this fight has cost the lives of too many Geru. I'm going, whether or not you agree with me, I'm going to have to as your alpha, we have to make peace with this.
See, here's the thing, Jackalor. At this point, you could argue that you have been thrown back from the city with grievous losses by multiple foes, and that since you are currently defeated and between campaigns, this is a time of peace and you can challenge Aru.
fuck it. You know, this isn't actually a campaign right now, is it?
It isn't,
I'm going to
especially if he's talking about peace. He's declaring his
And
intention to move to peacetime.
And yes, especially since you want to move to peace, I'm going to challenge you as alpha.
Let me double check the rules real quick on this.
Well, yeah, we should all do, but you get to decide the kind of challenge, because you are the challenged one.
Yes, you get to decide.
You do know what that means, right?
Yes, I'm aware. It just
Riddle
I think-
games.
I mean, Firefang doesn't really see any other option because you're essentially asking me to break his principle just because.
Also, you don't want to do a face down.
I mean,
Why-
you
why
could
would I-
argue that the crisis is still ongoing, Aru, but that just means that it's a court of public opinion then thing.
Yeah. I am attempting to define the challenges.
Let me know when you find them. The Probably under the rules somewhere, or well, under the
It's
Garo maybe.
page
On-
56, I think.
The stuff is on
56.
56. It looks like.
56.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, these are 3 common methods of challenge. You could, essentially move for a different one, and if that's the case, then, and if everyone in the sept agrees that that makes sense, and mostly that would mean the ones immediately above you.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't even be the elders, it would just be the higher ranking ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That could be a thing. Given that this is a question about wartime, a lot of people would expect, and there will be pressure for, something related to the war. So you'd need to either spin it as being a matter of the challenge you pick, reflecting a leader's abilities in terms of warfare, or you need to make it a combat challenge, or go against the opinion and convince them that, it shouldn't be a wartime thing.
You could also make it a contest of wills, since that is leadership in wartime.
Yeah.
It could be that if he doesn't want to do duo because something like we don't need more people dying right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What are the? Actually, I'm curious. What are the roles for the stare down?
I think it's. I had it open.
It would be manipulation or strength, intimidation, whichever is higher, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rules for it are charisma, intimidation, or rage, whichever is higher.
I guess.
And you can frenzy from this.
Yeah.
In which case you lose, of course.
Yeah. You also lose renown though too.
Mm-hmm.
It's on page 279.
You could argue that this should be a question of social things and proving your point, and then you could. That might be an easy enough sell, and you do have that wonderful gift or a couple of gifts. So, fuck with things.
Yep. Oh man.
So, what do you wish to go for? Because this bit just challenged you.
Honestly, I'd probably make it a challenge, like a scavenger hunt of some description, because even with abilities, what really needs to happen is the ability to find your foes in this case, in this conflict. It's a challenge to find them first and foremost, not to actually beating them, as we've shown, may not be the easiest thing, but the harder thing is finding them first.
Okay. And stealth would be important as well. If you bring this challenge to the higher ups, they would essentially set a contest of essentially you trying to track Firefang and Firefang trying to track Shadow, and whoever finds the other faster wins.
Yep. That would that would be my my argument.
This is reasonable.
Yeah. So these would be wits. Wits stealth versus, or rather wit survival probably. I'm gonna say you could use either there, honestly. So wit stealth or wit survival versus perception survival, most likely.
Awesome. You do know I managed to fast talk my way into something that I'm going to. I have the best possible dice rolls for, right?
Yes, I'm aware. I also have very good dice rolls at stealth.
Yeah.
and perception.
Okay,
It's-
so
yeah.
let's see. How do we want to do this? We're gonna be rolling at 6, and
Mhm.
I think this should be an extended roll. So, let's see. Okay, we're gonna say that
Actually,
it's
here's
a.
the biggest question. Well, here's a big question. Would I be able to get it set at night?
So you can get your fetish.
Since you are fighting
After all-
vampires, maybe.
Yeah. After all, we've got to considering our foe, our foe is active mostly at night, and tracking them is definitely a lot easier when they aren't hiding in their when they're out and about instead of sleeping in a well protected area.
Okay. So, they also use human servants, so unless you want to
Yeah.
roll for it, it would be set. This would essentially cost you another 2 days, because it would be set like 2 hours before dawn for the start, and then it would move over into day if it lasted long enough.
Yeah, if he's going to challenge my leadership, then it's kind of I feel that it's necessary to resolve this before moving in.
Okay. So it's gonna be. We're gonna say a total of 4 rolls.
All right, do we gain 2 more willpower actually?
Yeah.
You probably would be preparing and the like, so I'll give you 1. You won't be getting as much rest as.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense.
I guess Lara would get full.
Yeah, Lara will get full.
Mhm.
So, 4 phases. 2 with our own offense, 2 with our own defense. And, well, we're gonna see who gets the better progress.
Beast form for this or just normal?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think beast form would really matter.
Mine
It's-
is in Beast.
You can do it in whatever forms with whatever gifts you want, provided you don't engage in actual violence or traps. It's about, misdirection without damaging the other party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with whatever gifts I want, you say.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking bitch. You fucking auto-winning bitch.
Okay, so let's
It's
start.
not
the
auto
way-
winning actually. You get to roll wit subterfuge to avoid it if you're actively hiding.
Yeah, because that's totally my ace dice pool, right?
Okay, so let's start with Aro on the defensive. Now that Jackalors realized how utterly fucked he is.
I mean, I knew it was from the start. It's just,
Okay, so you have the Nix's Bangle for the first roll, which gives you what?
Yep. Four additional dice on a stealth roll.
Okay.
Considering I'm in beast form, do I get -2 difficulty on this?
This would be taking it into account, but if you have stuff like heightened senses, you would be able to use that. Or anything
don't
else that
have
would
heightened
help you
senses.
track.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Sigh.
like the basic form bonuses, since you both will be using those, I'm gonna say cancel each other out and you're both gonna be rolling your tracking at 6 unless you have something the other doesn't.
Sigh.
Are you employing anything else, Saru?
I don't have scent of running water. Actually, unless I could pick scent of running water up, which is a level 1 gift for Ragabash.
You probably wouldn't have picked up something specifically for this before, because this was kind of a surprise, I think.
Yep, that's
So,
fair.
Yeah.
I guess
I
I
asked
just
you to
start
rule it.
on.
Okay, so
So we're starting.
with stealth, if you're not using anything else to fuck him even further, and
Actually, let me double check something. I can use blissful ignorance. Roll stamina stealth to subtract successes from a perception alertness roll. Don't know if that would count here.
See. I'm gonna say that this is gonna give you -1 to the difficulty because it is useful. But he will be
Yeah.
mostly tracking you by sense, so it's enough to just conceal yourself
fair
long enough
enough.
till he tracks you slightly away, and then you can make a run for it, that kind of a thing.
Yep, fair enough.
And if one of you manages
So-
to beat the other by 5 successes, then, you know, that's gonna be a win without it dragging on over much. Essentially.
Okay, so
Yep.
I guess we just roll then.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the first for hunting arrow while it's still night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are ahead by 2. The second one would be during the day. Concealment would still work, but the Nix's Bangle probably wouldn't, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, about that. I think so. Should be accurate. Let me just double check what I wrote down for it. Yeah. It just says at night, but I think you have to be in shadows for it to actually work. So makes sense that it wouldn't work here.
okay. So, make the second rolls then.
Nah, that's not right.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you keep chasing him through the forest, you keep checking the objectives, and, you know, at one point you just realize all the fucking flags are gone. And you run back to the starting point, but he's already standing there, handing them over.
Fucking bitch. Well, I pretty much assumed this was gonna happen because you're the one taking the fucking challenge. It's almost impossible
Yeah.
to win that one.
Okay.
I've maneuvered
Oh, well.
the challenge, so it was almost impossible for you to
Okay,
win.
so with Jackalor, he knows that walks with shadow can ping things. So, first of all, I suggest that you might be using your dexterity athletics instead to try and race for it instead.
Probably, yeah.
But it does mean that he's gonna be somewhere in the forest, prowling probably, when you're trying to get to whatever objective has been set. So this depends on him being able to ping you or not. Because if he can, it gets very easy for him to just intercept you.
Yep, it's my perception enigmas versus your wit stealth.
With stealth, okay. It's less bad.
Yep.
Okay, make your rolls. See if this kicks.
Probably gonna make it, you know. Oh.
Yep, that one.
Okay. Then... Well, Jackalor, you can roll your Dex Athletics, and you probably Dex Survival Arrow, since this is a matter of tracking him and keeping up with him, but the difficulty for you will go up by 1, because he's just making for pure speed. And I'm at least assuming that you are treating this as a stealth thing.
Yeah, a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm.
At least I get form bonuses for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so would you, Jackalor. Whatever you
I
get
was just
to
gonna ask
dexterity in your most convenient
It's
forms.
+2.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
You need to reroll arrow. Unless you have something that also reduces the difficulty.
You know what? Actually, I could activate my chameleon. If he's running, then I can activate. Fuck, where is it? I know I have it somewhere.
The thing that allows you to climb. It won't really help you much.
Spirit of the Lizard.
Mhm.
I suppose that's fair. So
Well,
we
yeah.
roll that at 7 this time.
Yes.
I mean, pretty sure you're gonna win that one. Yeah.
You know, you just go for it, and you make good progress. But then, Haru, you hear him, and the race is on, and you hear him coming after you, Firefang. He is fucking coming. So roll again.
Oh my.
The pretense of stealth is probably gone at this point, so 6 for both.
Mm-hmm.
So just Dex Athletics, I think. Well, Dex Survival for you still, because you are tracking him.
Oh my fucking god, this
I
is
think
bullshit.
that's enough.
That's flat out bullshit. Oh my fucking god.
You know, you think you're gonna make it, you're within sight of the finish line, and then you see people turn to look to your side and something slams into your side.
Fuck you, bitch. Just barely. Oh my fucking god.
So he beats you by
Just
11
barely.
successes total.
Wait, 11?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
because-
like 7 from above and the 5 from here, or the 6 from before and the 5 from
Yes.
this one.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Pretty much knew it was gonna happen, but you know.
You know,
You
Had
weren't
to
expecting
try.
it to be as bad as it was.
Pretty
I
much
completely
was,
understand.
really.
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
people
Yeah.
don't quite give you the stink eye. They're just sad looking their eyes when they look at you. You tried. You tried, and you were honorable about it. It was hopeless.
pretty much.
Aru, why don't you take 2 temporary wisdom, and that's after having subtracted Coyote's thing already,
Mhm.
and 2 temporary honor, and you can take 2 temporary honor for participating Jackalor.
Yeah. That actually puts me over the up to 10.
You probably won't have the time before you head out to the much delayed vampire peace talks.
Yep.
Yeah, no, honor, not wisdom, so yeah. It's fine.
I mean, if you had 10 previously, that would have ticked over to a full point.
No, I didn't have 10. Well, I did, but I got now 2 more.
Okay, good. So, you ping the Nosferatu.
Yep, it's time to it's time. I'm guessing it's time to roll perception enigmas.
What time are you trying to get to them?
Probably about midnight, to be honest.
Okay. And it's versus with stealth?
Yes.
I lost this.
Yep.
That's fucking good. Give
So
me a luck die, because I have to figure out what kind of place he would be in. Okay. Then go ahead and give me those enigmas. And it's a
Oh my fucking
difficulty
god.
6, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You home in on him, and yep, there's definitely something invisible moving along that street. Moving away
this is-
from
this
you
is
when
the
it sees you. Nope.
Yeah. This is the time when I activate heightened senses to try and sniff him out or see him.
Okay. Also on the map as appropriate, because if this fucker gets spooked, he might try to stab a bitch. There.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that focusing in on him with the ping, you would eventually see through the obfuscate anyway, Yoon.
Okay.
Because you know where he is, and that allows your mind to focus in on it and see through the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Obfuscate is pretty fragile.
Mm-hmm. He's just
Yep.
slowly... Are you actually in... What forms are you in?
I mean, how heavily populated is the area? I'm assuming pretty populated, so we'd be a homid form.
Probably, yeah. Well, I mean, it's midnight, so.
Yeah, it's not that
Even
bad.
so,
These are
Mhm.
essentially
With
crappy
from-
back alleys. He's in the crap part of town.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't think it's a good idea to just simply reveal our fucking true true nature.
Make the decision.
Yeah. Yeah, Ahmed.
Okay. You know,
Okay.
then let's see. Would he recognize you? We're gonna call this a difficulty 5 because, oh yeah, he's just
He knows.
He's tense as fuck and just slowly stepping backwards while clutching an object in his hand. He's very unhappy about this, takes another step.
Yeah.
It's your show.
So to
Arthur.
say, not here to fight, at least not unless you want to.
He just freezes. He pretends very hard not to be there.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you'd recognize Nia at this point.
Man. I sort of I sort of blanket his seemingly wishful thinking and then shrug. I'm like, given everything that's happened, I think that it's probably about time that I think it's probably a good idea to at least get some measure of peace and calm in this area. I don't think the mortal populace or our kinfolk could handle much more chaos here.
He just nods slowly, like, okay. Still expecting to die horribly any second.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
no surprises there. Yeah. I say, see if you can't get get a meeting with your leaders. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this best. Actually, I think the phrase "I've been empowered by my group to talk peace."
Just wing it, you don't have that much charisma expression.
Yeah. Really, probably say that we're open to peace talks then.
He seems to relax slightly. How should they contact you?
Probably meeting up in a park, and I'll let my in-character knowledge fill in which park it probably should be, or which one is least likely to, or which one is probably which one my character would consider a middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
In say 2 days' time.
I'll try.
Suppose in the end that's all I could ask. So, and at that I sort of I sort of turn around and start heading off.
Okay.
Does the Nazi like leave now? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, he does.
I'll wait until he rounds the corner before turning my back on him.
You know, if you keep watching him, he backs away backwards, keeping an eye on you as well.
I don't trust him.
He doesn't trust you either.
Yeah, I can't say I blame him.
Okay.
Lift a finger against them as long as Aru isn't fucking trying to start the fight, so.
Isn't it? Okay, so
Fucking say. I even refrained from rolling Sense the Worm. Because I knew that was gonna be a bad idea. Remove
it would
Stonekeeper
probably
because
be
Stonekeeper is.
here in Wolverine Lake that you would meet, most likely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
probably.
sense. Actually, does Coyote come back in the 4 days that we were resting?
He does eventually, yes. By this point, you would definitely have him.
Awesome.
Yeah. Don't think we can talk to him anymore, though.
Okay, so at what point do you arrive for the meeting? How early do you get there?
Probably sunset, honestly.
Okay.
I'd argue that we should at least scout the place out a few times so that
Yeah.
they're not in the trap.
Well, so yeah, arrive at something like an hour or two before sunset, and then sort of look around the place to make sure they didn't try and set up any traps with mortals.
There are a great many people hanging around there, and there are signs set up about a what would they call this? They would probably be wearing police uniforms, honestly, and it would be some sort of a shit. They're gonna use a gas leak excuse. There's firemen and policemen, a couple of strangely odd medical people around. They're not trying to hide from you. They are clearly out in the open, and there are a fuck ton of ghouls everywhere.
Fucking knew it. There's no way they weren't gonna.
It's like, sure, we're gonna meet with you, but we're gonna protect our precious unlives, thank you very much. And I'm sure they're all armed with silver by now. Thank you very much.
Just one bit.
Do you walk into the meeting?
I mean, unless you've already secretly rolled for the spring the trap roll, yeah, it's like honestly, it's probably some kind of trap, but it's only there to spring later. If it's either there to spring later, or the Tremere are really, really pissy.
How many dice do you have in that? 8?
In perception alertness, yeah.
I'll ask you to at least
nothing.
I'll ask you to at least let us be in like Krynos form for this, considering everything.
I mean,
yeah.
If you plan to make any manipulation rolls, you don't want to be in Krynos form.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be in Krynos, but I'm not gonna begrudge you guys being in Krynos, given everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I guess that works.
Who's alive from among the powerful?
Who's alive?
Yeah, they would have hired the Asamite to provide security. Put him here. Um, and everything. Yeah, she would be there as a gangrel representative. Fight them. But they probably would invite the Bruja because they need them now to maintain a ruling coalition.
Lol.
Well, yeah, we're gonna say that she would be there as a guard. There. That's a group of 3 that you can negotiate with.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's a lot of people. Not a great many weaker vampires, although there are 2 or 3, but you know. Especially eventually, just several motorcycles and a limo and another police car, something like that, just roll up and people start getting out. A whole lot of leeches, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain of, yeah, we look at how many of us there are, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Just, how have you positioned yourselves? Are you just standing at the ready in the park?
Honestly, probably so.
Mm-hmm. There's like a cafeteria of some kind nearby. They just, invite you cordially to sit at one of the tables.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. Who would be leading this? Him. Sits down across and, well, why don't you roll the perception alertness for me?
Can we all roll?
Yeah, you can.
At what difficulty?
6.
Les. Bitch.
Okay, yeah, you notice that there's something strange about the way he carries himself. Almost as if he leaning forward whenever his eyes fix on you. Just this intense gaze. For you, Firefang, realize that it's kind of acting, mannerisms wise, like you might expect from a bird of prey. And, well, do you have any occult of noteworthy amounts?
I have 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would be able to tell the difference that probably you would have noticed something animalistic about the dude you killed previously. Or Demi killed.
Oh.
Yay. Fucking gangrel.
So, congratulations, there's a gangrel in charge of negotiations.
I mean, maybe we have a chance. Not really, but maybe. I'll try to discreetly inform Walks with Shadow of this, but I'm pretty sure all of them will hear this because Auspex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, sure, let's roll his perception alertness because this will matter for negotiations. Oh, right, he has virtually none of it. The other gangrel would notice because she has Auspex 5, but...
Oh, man.
Oh my fucking
You should
god.
gonna try and tell her that through fucking telepathy.
Probably would. They probably have established a link already.
Yeah, assumed as much. Fucking telepathy.
Yeah. Just observing, looking for threats. Just this one dude, just casually with one smooth motion, draws a gleaming blade and puts it on the table in front of him. Just a clear, don't start anything.
I mean,
Yeah. As much as I don't appreciate the gesture, I understand it.
yeah. I am wearing my fang daggers, so yeah, I understand them.
You're in Krynos form. That is a much clearer threat to vampires.
Yeah.
There's just these
Yep.
two muscled mountains of wolf behind this one person that's acting a lot more animalistic than any human has any right to.
Fucking 9 feet
If
tall.
I actually manage to pull off any kind of acceptable peace deal with the vampires, it's gonna be fucking insane.
Yeah.
I think my character would have to go into politics after that.
The Gangrel Elder just sitting there at this point waiting for you to begin with a polite, okay, go ahead, smile on his face that says really nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And now I have to personally figure out how to run these because I don't trust the dice rolls to give me anything. Actually, would I have regained some willpower from the days that we were waiting?
The first two, while you were just waiting to go out, yes. From the ones that involve the, whatchamacallit, challenge, only one.
Yeah. Well, the 2 days that I gave the Nosferatu to try and set something up was not what I was
Those,
asking.
yes, you may recover from those. Your rage is probably at full long since, so yeah, you're semi-ready to fight.
Mhm.
Don't start
Well,
the fight.
semi-
You're gonna get
I'm more
down.
concerned about the willpower so that I don't end up steamrolled by these negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably open because I also don't trust myself to formulate an actually both accurate and accurate enough and eloquent enough response to this. I'd probably open up with something about how the chaos in the city has escalated to points untenable by both parties, considering that our objective is that our goal is to defend the kinfolk from danger, and theirs seems to be to hold their power.
We certainly agree, and I'm glad that you have realized the foolishness of this unjustified and unprovoked war of aggression that you have launched.
Are you gonna say something?
Yeah. Let's see. So, given everything, I'm going to first talk about how that that as far as I can tell, one group of vampires moved on our kinfolk, and then a tragic misunderstanding led to the Tremere issue. I'm using their actual names because I don't think I can actually both
You could say
accurately
this,
roleplay. Yeah, I don't think I can
the
actually
mage issue.
Yeah, the whole thing that happened with the mages and well, really the big points are the fact that the Zemasi appear to have been attacked the kinfolk, and that after simply defending ourselves from an attack by another vampire, how they proceeded to kidnap each and every kinfolk they could, leading to unacceptable losses on our side because of for the retaliatory strike made by a werewolf driven beyond the brink of rage.
So, you attacked us. Well, we were innocent, which you admit. And then we were the ones that destroyed the enemy, which was actually guilty.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of reparations are you willing to offer for this injustice?
I have
I
5
don't-
seconds to wait.
Yeah,
Rage
no,
and trying to-
that's nope. Yeah, no, that we
Diplomatic
unjustly.
insult cost is barely acquired.
Yeah, they're fishing for something that they're not going to find. Our entire actions have been retaliatory. The vampires that have fallen by our hands are the ones who have attacked the kinfolk or who have attacked us. What reparations are you willing to offer us for repeatedly attempting to attack us and attacking us and our our subjects? Basically, well, I probably wouldn't use subjects. I'd probably use kinfolk, but that's the idea.
Reparations. After you walked into the home of some of our most respected elders and burned it to the ground while they were sleeping, defenseless.
Man, I am, I am half tempted to I'm wondering what I should roll to whether or not I should mention that they were keeping something that they were keeping that the cause of they were keeping evil artifact that was the cause of the hundreds of deaths in there.
That's
From-
funny. That's
Listen,
really
not-
from their point of view, you went in there, blew it up, and salted the earth. I'm just
man.
saying.
Yeah, I know exactly how they feel. Unfortunately for them, this is just no.
Yeah, they apparently don't know about the artifact. Don't tell them about it.
Yeah. I could mention that it was destroyed in the explosion, and that was the entire cause of the. That was the reason that so many people
Do
died.
you want to roll your manipulation subterfuge against 5 vampires?
4 of them are elders.
Yeah. I mean, I could try my luck, but I'm not entirely willing to I'm not entirely willing to do that right now. I'm going to make 2 points here. The first one is that he was acting provoked. I assume that we saw the finger that they airdropped into the sept, basically.
Yeah, you probably would have,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
I don't think I know about all the texts that they sent with one of my closer kinfolk, which probably would have led to me helping Kraft murder them if I actually figured it out. But yeah, that's true too. That
They were the
So
one.
I'm-
We were trying to free the kinfolk, and they that were in the Tribute Chantry. They just and instead someone blew it up.
yeah, we first off, I'm going to mention that they provoked that the blood that the mages provoked the one werewolf who went to go destroy the chantry. And second off, they were the ones who kidnapped the kinfolk first. They made their action. We were reacting to their action. And while the rest of us may have been planning to free them, because we weren't willing to leave our kinfolk in any more danger than we could avoid, he was the one who ultimately made the decision to try and end the threat permanently. And yes, Jackalo, that the attacks I am actually doing, I'm trying something. Let's see how well Chris rules that it works.
You were detected. Trying to scout out the mages, as you call them, for a future attack. Any retaliation they took was a preemptive effort to prevent their own destruction. You, sir, while skillful, are full of shit, as the younger generation says.
You know, I'm having to say that they had I could mention that it was the I could try and pin the blame on the Zemacy and say that we were following we were attempting to figure out why the Zemacy had stationed a ghoul to oversee the area.
Is that what you want to do?
We're just trying to free a person.
Yeah, we were attempting to free the kinfolk, and then we ended up stumbling upon the area. And any attempting to pin the action as scouting is attempting to ascribe a motive where there was none. Yeah, the first stage of negotiations is playing the blame game. The second is actually figuring out what needs to be dealt with.
So you claim that it was innocent. Why then did you try to trespass in what was clearly someone else's domain?
Ultimately, for the same reason that the rest of the actions have been taken, to protect the kinfolk. We had to figure out what our what the threats to the kinfolk might be, and we couldn't leave any stone unturned. Even if it turned out to be a false lead, there simply wasn't any other means. We did find the Zemacy on the first day we went scouting. We found the flesh shapers.
I see. And then you proceeded to ignore them until we were able to destroy them.
Ignore them? We lost one of our members attempting to ascertain their location. Excuse us for wanting to find to try and find out where they were weaker than their heart than the base of operations.
He turns to the side and nods to this guy. The sheriff here survived being ambushed by 3 of them and killed all of them. Maybe you are not enough of a threat to be worth negotiating with after all.
I just sort of at that point I just sort of start laughing. Oh really? Did he survive against 3 monstrosities and several dozen warped humans?
Your alpha certainly didn't. Or did you mention that it was your alpha?
No, just that he was one of our. He was a.
Yeah, then he just says your comrade certainly didn't. With that kind of, douchebag laugh.
Is he trying to focus the frenzy to kill them all?
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I am actually very tempted to roll to see whether I'm actually going to roll for frenzy. What difficulty?
I'm pretty sure I'd be rolling as well because oh my fucking god, they did not.
Yeah, they did not just do that.
Okay,
what's the difficulty here for us?
Well, actually, you wait another 2 days, so difficulty is up to 7. This is a good time for negotiations. It's Crescent Moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's rage right there.
Yeah. Not a frenzy, but it's getting close.
No, actually, I think it isn't it. Isn't it a 3?
No, it's 4 successes to get enter a rage.
Okay.
Lara?
Just flat out fuming right there.
For you, it's difficulty 6 because you're under a Theurge moon.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment of... Actually, roll perception empathy to read his face.
I'll roll as well, sure. Yeah, no.
And let's see how well he's projecting what he wants to project here. You know,
Not well.
you are the only one that notices. There seems to be just the tiniest flicker of doubt when he sees all of you tense, and then it's just replaced with a, just a relaxed smile.
Fuming there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah,
being
the
Angry
rest
Birth
of
is
the-
also the one who caught that.
he
Yeah.
he did that deliberately.
Yep, I know. That's like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way it
He's-
wasn't deliberate.
Yeah, there's no way. I sort of at that point I sort of glare and I say, I'd like to see you survive against those. I'd like to see you or any one of your so-called leaders survive against the forces that we ran into.
It's quite simple, really. For one of real power and experience, that is. Destroy them? Alone? Perhaps not. Survive? Easily. So, I assume you have a specific offer of terms you have in mind?
Obviously the big thing that comes to mind is a ceasefire, but that's kind of not really a huge thing. Not them us getting us getting final say on vampirism or ghouls or ghouling was the big part for us, and as well as the right to punish our disobedient Garu.
Do you expect us to ask for permission in all our affairs? And to hand you back anyone that violates your side of it and tries to kill one of us? Are you serious?
If you have terms, now is the time for you to set them down.
Very well. Stay out of our city. We will allow your kinfolk, as you call them, depart in peace.
I really don't think you understand exactly exactly how about how strong we still are despite everything that's happened here.
We could say the same to you. And here's the fun part, dog. We can replenish our numbers quickly and easily if we have a mind to. You, I don't believe, have quite the same luxury.
You know, I think it's another rage roll there.
Go
For
ahead.
that insult,
dog.
the blatant insults.
Yeah, for you specifically, yes.
And at that I sort of glare at him for a
given how
second.
hard he's pushing you, go ahead and tick up another rage point above your max.
Yeah. And I sort of I'm sort of glaring at him and I say, and yet you still haven't actually faced you still haven't seen exactly what the Garu can do when sufficiently angered.
See? But we do. Some of us have seen Garu in action, and others have a great deal of knowledge of how to fight you. Silver in particular, I hear, is Quite unfortunate. Funnily enough, we established a steady source of supplies as well.
Can't say
And
anything.
I'm thinking how best to reply to the veiled threat here.
Uh-huh.
Probably and probably I'm probably going to say and yet and yet sun and fire flush you out far better than any weapon that men can make.
Maybe. But we know where you lair. And the prince said to mention something about a logging permit.
I don't think any of us understand that, other than Yaxi.
Yeah, I think only Nyaxi understands that.
Do either of
Yeah.
you have academics?
Fuck no.
Lara, you know exactly
Yeah,
what they mean. Are you gonna inform the wolves?
I mean,
You want to anger the wolves? This is like an instant frenzy for fucking the fucking Red Talon.
I mean, eh,
yeah. The briefest signs of confusion flit across flit across my face at the
I mean,
the term logging permit.
I have to at least tell it to the Alpha, I suppose.
You do.
You might want to, yes.
Yeah, I will whisper it in his ear or something.
The vampire politely waits for
I-
you to explain exactly how he threatened you.
I think that's yet another rage roll.
Go
Honestly.
ahead and roll.
Oh my goodness.
It would
Oh,
though be
man.
a problem if a major corporation decided to start logging in the sept.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still, war would be costly and unnecessary. We are willing to consider your kinfolk off limits, but we are not gonna ask your permission for every ghouling or every embrace. That is simply irrational and unreasonable. We are, at the very best, and I mean at the very best for you, on equal footing, and that is being extremely generous.
Oh gosh, this is. I mean, that's better terms than you could honestly ask for, generally speaking.
Yeah, it's better than we could. It's better than we could ask for. It's still obviously the wrong way, but ultimately,
Wait,
I
wait,
think that is.
Can we get a
Yeah, I
better
think
deal
that's-
with murdering the delegation?
You probably won't get a peace until you get the whole city to turn tail and run then.
Yeah, that's the only way we'd be getting a better deal than that is if we got the vamps out.
And there are like 20 ghouls surrounding the perimeter, probably armed with silver.
Yep.
Yeah, we could kill the delegation, which would throw them into disarray. But
Would you though?
that's one of
Would
those.
you?
That's
Not
one of those
really.
actions where it's a coin toss as to whether or not it demoralizes them or makes them just nuke the place from orbit, essentially.
I mean, at that point, they withdraw from this city and call in call in boons with every surrounding elder to turn the sept into a wasteland.
Yep, my point exactly.
keep in mind that cairn,
Mm-hmm.
if you have to submit them lists of kinfolk, that gives them a knife at your throat, and
Yeah.
you need to have a win, because the Sept is not gonna see that
Yeah.
term as a win, they're gonna see it as a loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I sort of snort and say, and leave. And what would you have us do to prevent you from claiming our kinfolk and what would you have us do to protect our kinfolk? We're not going to give you a list so that you can simply swoop them up and to try and hold a knife to our throat in future negotiations.
This is honorable. If he gives his word, he'll keep it. Provided you launch no more unprovoked attacks.
That's like the irony.
From their
Yeah.
point of view, you started this. They were just puttering along perfectly happy, and then you just smashed in right after the Sabbat and fucked with them.
Oh man.
Probably would be
Besides,
having this problem with the fucking
you know,
elder
if
having
there
the gun
was-
of like
if there was another elder in charge of this, other than a gangrel, I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it might go easier, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know exactly why they decided to select the gangrel unless they pushed it through with boons.
It has to do with positions and status. I'll tell you after the negotiation.
Yeah. Like he managed to yeah.
I sort
I
of
mean, I get-
yeah. I'm not quite willing to say that quite yet. I'll probably pull it out if he continues to provoke, but I'd simply give him a flat look. His honor is all you're banking it on. If someone else were to get a hold of the list, then who's to say that they are as honorable as the prince?
Do you have a suggestion?
Yes, Ahriman.
What the original position?
That is not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. It's a starting point for negotiations, but
We could limit the spread of such a list to the prince and the empire in charge of local law. It might be possible to institute a delay before schooling someone or granting the embrace while we check them against the list, but it would be enforced on our side. Of course, if the list is not, if the list, the more restricted the list is, the harder it is to make sure accidents don't happen.
Yeah. At those words, I sort of give him a flat look.
It's simply a matter of vampiric nature, I'm afraid. The young bloods are reckless.
I sort of snort at that in a sort of understanding, because where's their impulsive? I mean, they give the example of bright-eyed wares storming the Pentex boardroom. I mean, actually, yeah, that's a good point. I sort of give him a look, and I'm like, so you don't have the city under your control, and thus wouldn't be able to properly enforce any rules that you would make. Then, is that what you're claiming?
Not at all. But accidents happen. I doubt you would very much
Funny.
enjoy a situation where we punish the culprit after the fact as opposed to preventing the crime in the first place. Obviously, we would make examples and we would put a stop to it, but well, that would be after someone got the wrong end of it. Can't make an example of an innocent man after all.
I'm like
Yeah.
sitting there with innocent man. I don't think those two go together.
Choose one!
Yeah. Oh man. I give a sort of look at Firefang's like calm no before looking back at them and say sighing. I suppose much more than that can't be helped. That and I sort of mentioned that of course the truce would fall to protecting protecting the vampires as much as it may irk some of the younger werewolves, and the same would apply to on your half to keep this truce from breaking down. Yeah, the elders won't be happy, but we at least have someone on our side.
How do you propose that transgressors be dealt with?
As much as I'd like wares to as much as I'd like the wares to be the ones to deal with the all of the transgressions, honestly, I'd say that I'd probably say that the perpetrators would be dealt with by their own, unless the other side gets to them first, of course.
That is unacceptable. Given the delicacy of the situation, any perpetrators should be taken alive and judged by a tribunal consisting of both sides. It's the only way to properly ensure compliance.
You know, honestly, I'm actually personally, I'm kind of okay with that as a as a deal from that. It does mean that no vigilante justice, unfortunately, but it also means that it means that wares are going to be punished, or it means that vamps have a say in punishing wares, and it means that but it does mean that the vamps can't get off scot-free.
Yeah, they know how accidents happen, and they know how werewolves are like, so giving you a... Yeah, this... Each side punishing their own unless they get to the violator first, it's... No, that's a horrible deal. No, thank you very much, no.
Yeah.
Now
Oh,
then,
man.
shall we speak about the elephant in the room?
Which is?
The weapons you used to destroy the mages.
I sort of just I sort of just snort and say, what, the C4 that are that the that the SEP member used?
I believe our servants are still checking the area for zombies that have managed to hide today.
Lol.
A look of comprehension crosses my face. Oh, that. I think that was something that the mages cooked up that exploded. Actually, you know what?
Save
I'm
it.
so-
They
Hmm?
do not deal with death magics.
Hmm. Hmm. I sort of look at them and I say, "Are you sure?" Because they built their home on top of a they built their home on top of the home of a werewolf tribe that had a habit of keeping dread artifacts sealed, if you will. Well, I'd probably use the term Banes sealed.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you go and make me
And-
manipulation subterfuge roll?
Actually, can I claim the Coyote's subterfuge bonus? Because I think he gives 1 pip in that.
I think he gives
Or
3.
right, I'm trying to remember what the layout was. I think it was. I know it was 3-3-1, and they were spread over streetwise, subterfuge, and stealth.
I think it was 1 in stealth and 3 in streetwise and subterfuge.
Yeah. So I think I'll use. I think I'll claim Coyote's subterfuge pips.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it's a 6, right?
Yeah. You know, he doesn't entirely believe you, but you notice a slight pause before he speaks again, because there is the doubt these were Tremere after all.
Oh man. See, I managed to keep the nature hidden and pin the blame for the death explosion on the Tremere. Success!
Yay.
Be that as it may, an event like that cannot happen again.
I mean, we have our own
Um,
laws to govern that stuff, so you can tell them about that.
Well, I sort of I say that the none of us want the event to happen again. We've managed before we managed words, sorry. Before we called for parley, we dealt with the we dealt with the reason behind it. It's sealed once again.
Sealed. By you. You have it.
Damn it, Ahru.
And you think to hold this over our heads, do you? I
Use a
think
weapon that could hurt ourselves.
Wow, is he saying we would use it? That sounds like
Yeah.
another.
Are you saying that we would use such a weapon when it could harm ourselves in the process, and we were the ones who sealed it and hid it originally?
What? Damn it, Ahru.
I think that he realizes at this point that you have been fucking with him, and I think he sees this as a public humiliation in front of the other elders. Hence that self-control at 8, which he just failed.
I mean, technically I can calm him down if I spend another willpower point on my gift.
You can.
You
But I'm
can.
not yeah, if they would want such a thing.
Well, either way, you are in initiative because he's gonna leap at the werewolf.
Bitch.
Okay.
I mean, he's attacking, so I guess fuck the vampires etiquette stuff, and I will just try to calm him down.
Let's see, I need to check upon how much celerity they all have.
To
Roll
have better base.
has 3. And
Jack, did you forget that form bonuses don't apply?
No. Oh, did it not roll properly?
You probably had it set on your because the rolling
I
macro
just,
takes the 4 bonuses into account.
It does. That
Yes.
should be
Yeah,
the case.
and that's actually important in this. I found that out the hard way. I found it out during the roll with the battle with the Earthbound, so it ultimately didn't matter. But
Okay,
It's
luckily for you, the vampires expected you to try something, not their own negotiator to try and leap across the table to eat the face of the opposite party.
oh man, honestly, this is
I
probably
guess-
actually a better thing that could have happened to us. They're the ones breaking the rules of negotiations, not us.
Then again, you just told them that you had a nuke that you originally captured in the first place, so...
I'll spend
Eh,
a point of
win
gnosis
some,
to
lose
get another extra plus 10 because of
I
apparently
think it's
it's
actually a
rage,
point of
actually.
rage.
Oh,
Yeah,
rage?
it's a point of
Oh, I
rage,
thought it was gnosis. Yeah, I'll
Nope, it's
spend the
rage.
rage.
which means it doesn't matter what you roll, you're still first.
Yeah.
A modifier of 20 plus your base stats, I think, puts you above
Yeah.
above a
no
20.
matter fucking what.
Yeah, it puts you at something like 25 or something.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, so... the vampires are gonna pass, except for Sigmund, who is gonna try and leap across the table and grapple Yuaru.
Okay, Nia. You get one
I
fucking
mean-
chance.
I mean, technically, you and I still have to declare our actions.
Yeah, but we can delay after her.
Yeah. Actually, where's Sigmund's portrait? Is Sigmund going
Sigmund at the
before
ba-
Nax or after?
No, Sigmund is going at the very bottom.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I am actually going to commit to a dodge, just in case.
I'm going to delay until after Niaxi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do?
I mean, I could try Calm the Savage Beast.
This is what I would. I mean, you'd have to try declare that first. If you're not trying something magical, I'm going to fucking kill the guy.
Jackalor, what is your... Well,
Sure.
are you trying first of all, Maxi?
I'd be waiting for Niaxi. I'm waiting for Niaxi to declare
I
what
mean,
he's
wait,
doing.
let's see. I wrote down somewhere how many dice do I have for that.
Keep in mind that whatever their feelings about this fuck up, they're not gonna let this dude die.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, fair enough. Which is why I'd be willing to delay if Niaxi goes and tries something mystical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kinda depends if, since it's manipulation plus primal urge.
Just decide. How does it work? Manipulation plus primal urge, how is it resisted, if at all?
It's not resisted, but I roll a difficulty 8 and I spend 2 willpower points if it's not a Garou.
Okay. Do you want to do it? Yes or no?
Yes, you want to. This is a matter of killing him or not.
And you're assuming you can. There's gotta be blood
I
going
mean-
into fortitude and the like.
Thing is that Krenos reduces my dice pool considerably.
Mm-hmm. You can automatically switch out into your Homid form as a free action. It's part of your being Homid. You can always switch to
Yeah.
whatever your base form is.
Oh yeah, then I will just do that. I
Okay.
will turn and then try.
Okay. Well. Then I believe you actually act first, because Jackalor's delaying and Arrow's reserving a dodge.
Yeah, let's just hope this goes through.
That is a success.
Phew.
Yeah, you just hands snap up, reaching out towards your face. And he takes a deep breath. Slowly lowers them.
Uh,
Can't you explain to me in detail about this weapon?
Um,
like
Um,
everyone with
actually,
hands on their weapons.
I'm going to how best to explain it? Actually, would I know that the Earthbound enslaves people to its will, or would I have been able to figure that out, or
Give
Or
me
would
a
that be a
wits
roll?
occult at. We're gonna call it a 7. Actually, we're gonna call it a 6.
also I'm spending a willpower.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Judging from how that fireman was acting and how everyone was acting around it when you took it to the sept, it does have some pull or influence that can really sink its way in.
I'm going to say that it's a dangerous spirit with the ability to enslave anyone that the item touches, and it holds some power over death, based off of what I can tell, or based off of what I've seen.
And we're supposed to trust your word for that being how it works.
It attempted to it took over someone at I saw the event where the fireman walked into the doorway, right?
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm.
At ground zero, it brought a human into the it seemed to obtain a human, and we ended up killing the I'm figuring out how to put this best. It's
Servant.
well, it's new servants. I'll say, not 5 days ago.
We have our own resident expert on death. We would like to examine this item by an independent expertise. We are willing to send said expert to wherever you're keeping it, if necessary, but we do want to confirm all of this.
You know that's all possible, Aru. It's just not.
I know exactly how this is. I don't think I have enough charisma expression or charisma or of any kind to try and get the point across in a method that probably isn't going to get them to attempt to stab me.
Yeah, it's
actually,
literally not possible because of the Uktena.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to fudge the truth a little. I have the subterfuge dice, and I'm going to say that the elders passed it off to someone more skilled in the manipulations of this, and they took it far away. I don't think anyone in the sept knows where it is now.
Go ahead and roll for it.
All right, I'm going to spend a willpower on this one too.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's
I have the
given
coyote subterfuge dice. I had
That's
the
not
coyote
even the one
subterfuge.
You
with
can have
no
this,
specs.
you definitely have the coyote subterfuge, guys.
Yes,
Doesn't
it's
matter. You're still
manipulation
fucked.
subterfuge, right?
Yep.
Yes. Oh, maybe.
Fuck
Okay,
no.
I've got fuck. I have
Here's-
4 successes with the willpower, but there's 2 ones for fuck's sake.
Well, then I suppose
It's very
there's
good
no
better luck if
helping
you don't
for
roll
it,
it through the macros.
is there? Still though, he just says, well then there's no helping for it. Still, it does create an awkward situation, doesn't it?
Unfortunately, so you aren't going to trust us. That I think at this point I figured out that he doesn't trust he doesn't trust me. My claim.
Not necessarily. You would have to try and see through his subterfuge.
All right. Perception correct. Perception at 6.
I'll roll as well.
Yes.
Nope. I get nothing.
Wow.
Isn't the bot,
That's,
so.
Close
I
though.
mean, so that's perception, empathy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Clutch.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not being entirely honest with his responses, Maxie.
I mean, hard to convey that.
So, I believe we should have some sort of a system in place for exchanging information about any incidents at the very least.
Mm-hmm. To not have one would lead to would mean it would be problematic to assemble a tribunal if the need arose.
Indeed. Well, we are willing to agree to it so far, in principle, with the specifics being worked out. Of course, at a later date, most likely.
A truce is not a great place to lay down the foundations for peace, or to lay down the specifics of peace.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, the kin of the mages you destroyed will want their revenge among some others. He actually moves to stand up. So, you know, if you want to mention the cairn and secure the rights to it.
I'll mention that. I'll probably say that the land that the mages held was Garu owned and was an important location to the Garu, and that it would go greatly to helping smooth over the tensions if we could have the land returned to us.
He immediately just sits back down. Unacceptable. The mages would consider that a great betrayal on our part, and it would mean making an enemy of them. And frankly, they have held that land for, I believe, nearly a century. Which means that...
How long did he... Yeah.
Which means that, simply put, so much time having passed with it in fact being in their hands, and with few, if any, werewolves remaining alive from those days, it is, in fact, legally theirs, by any sane definition. Well, you kind of need this if you want the fucking elders to agree.
Mm-hmm.
You could just say that we kind of need that to get them to actually agree to anything, really. but that's like a desperation
You
card.
could just play hardball, yes. See how much they want peace and how much they worry about the Tremere.
Especially considering they
And
got
I-
murderized.
Yeah. I sort of look at them and I say, are there really so many more Tremere left in the city?
More will be
After everything
arriving
that's happened?
soon. They are looking forward to rebuilding their base.
So he just confirmed there aren't any here. There aren't any alive here. They existed at the time. This could
He gives no
So-
fuck about giving that away. He doesn't like the Tremere. Fuck the Tremere.
yeah.
So there are no Tremere there to continue to hold any claim to it.
It is owned by the Tremere clan, not by a specific Tremere. Ones that were here at the founding are still alive in other cities.
You know, you could predict that the Ictana were here still exist. They were found. They found the cairn.
Yeah, you know, I am half tempted to say that
Play hardball if you want.
yeah.
You might win.
You know, I like as it stands now. There are the two negotiating tactics I have left or the two cards I have left are the pit that got created. If I really want to reveal a bit more than I think is wise, and the and hardball. I don't think they care much about the pit, so
Yeah, especially considering they think
Yeah.
we probably would want to purge it anyway.
yeah. I'd say then I'd say that's incredibly unfortunate. I suppose that there's nothing that I suppose that there's no way to see true peace then.
This is a deal breaker for you?
Unfortunately, so the as werewolves are ought to do, we do not forget the past easily. The one consolidation that place had that led to it being left alone was that it was not held by any of the local Garu. It was held by outsiders to the region before.
Well, that is truly unfortunate. He stands up. Aru, you are still in mortal form. Give me manipulation
Yep.
intimidation or strength intimidation here.
You know, neither of those rolls are actually pretty good because I actually lack intimidation as it stands. So I'm going to spend a willpower.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of why I wanted as many willpower points as I could get. And now I'm going to roll my dice at 6, right?
Yes. See how much he reads or what is really going on. Okay. He
Oh,
pauses. Turns back to you. I suppose we might be able to negotiate for this and get the prince to agree if you gave us a little more in return elsewhere.
That willpower expenditure has kind of been making the difference at this stage. So I ask, so what exactly do you think would he would be looking for to smooth the transition, so to speak?
Well, you no doubt will seek to install werewolves to guard the place since it seems to be important.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
It's
Well,
of religious significance.
Yeah.
given
phrase
the
religious
fact
significance
that
would probably be wrong.
those werewolves would be invested in the city, wouldn't you say? It would make sense
Yeah.
that they work with us in defending against outside threats that would not hesitate to destroy you as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh my fucking god.
I sort of nod, and I sort of get this far off look, thinking back to the Zima Sea. Just sort of a
Cannot
slow nod
fodder
and
get.
yeah, yep, yeah. Cannon fodder
Yeah,
to
but
deal
you-
with the
main
truly
problem-
evil.
Yeah. The main problem would be finding Garo willing to do that.
This now becomes a Shadow Lord set because they're the only ones willing to stomach it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a sept gain for the Garo Nation, or for the
Will
Garo.
the others see it as that? Or will they just see it as a power
I mean-
grab by the Shadow Lords?
I mean, the sept wasn't super strong in the first place, so and the idea that they can take this from the leeches is probably going to be at least partially tempting.
And it is now considered more or less a fully urban cairn, even if it is a weak one.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Is that agreeable? In principle.
Of course.
Very well then.
Uh,
He holds out his hand.
Yep. And then guess it's time to shake on it.
Mm-hmm.
He kills you instantly. We all get murdered.
That's a no. That's what happens if the sheriff does it, because fucking quietus. This is a gangrel.
Sheriff isn't a
Or not sheriff, whatever the Asimite that got hired for defense here.
yeah.
No, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of renown, you're probably gonna be losing like 5 temporary renown for this, but you will be getting like
Do you mean glory?
more of honor, I would say, because you're selling out and promising to have Garou submit to vampire justice and have Garou, you know, fight for vampires, but you would get a fuck ton of wisdom for this.
Cool.
Because,
that
well,
knocks
this
me
is-
down a
Um,
permanent honor, but that's acceptable. I just got
Yeah, same
that.
here.
I'm not very attached to it.
Yeah. So I would say that for simplicity's sake, you would all tick to the next stage of wisdom, but you would lose 5 temp honor because
5 temporary honor.
yeah.
I
because-
just essentially
Ultimately,
gained
that's a
one-
net 0 change for me.
yeah.
I
This
gained
is
1
an
point of
acceptable
temporary
outcome.
wisdom. I literally just gained 1 temporary point of wisdom. That's all. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah,
I hate
me
you
too.
I leveled up from the 5 points, so I'm good.
Okay. So yeah, the Shadow Lord would be able to sell this piece, and this would
Yeah,
be
especially
a
after
sept.
reclaiming the cairn.
Yeah, this would be a sept that would have something like 45 to 60% Shadow Lords, and most of the rest would be Glasswalkers and Bone Gnawers, with maybe
Yep.
like 1 Uktena for
reasons.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because there was a fucking Earthbound stored here. Nobody's gonna take chances with that.
It would eventually cleanse itself. The Earthbound was well contained.
Yeah.
They'd have to also go and like cleanse the other pit.
I mean,
Eventually, at some point,
that's a tougher
maybe.
sell. They would find it hard to raise enough power, especially with a weak cairn that's not that attractive.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a victory of sorts. You have made peace with the vampires that both sides can more or less live with.
Of course, the Tremere got screwed over, but that's like standard.
In the end, nobody cares about the Tremere. Nobody but the Tremere likes the Tremere, so
If the-
ultimately
if the
everyone
Tremere-
who matters is peace.
Yeah. If the Tremere are under the negotiation table, they're going to get screwed over one way or another.
Yeah, the Bruja just keep getting more respect. The Tremere lose a fuck ton of respect and a lot of strength since they end up with like 2 or 3 neonates. So essentially, the Bruja end up kind of moving partially into the position of power the Tremere vacated, though not quite as strongly. So,
Yeah.
I suppose we can do an epilogue thing really quickly since that's more or less the campaign. Any questions about what was happening?
Who was the strongest clan?
Ah, that is an excellent thing. I have now added the city handout with the clan strengths to something that's visible for everyone. And I will copy what I made in terms of what happened day by day until, we reach the point where it didn't matter, so you can read that at your as well.
Did we murder one of the Malkavians' semi-experienced neonates?
The Malkavians weren't particularly strong. I think they were the second weakest. So
Yeah.
it hurts them, but it doesn't change anything overall.
That respect then, Toreador.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the Zimitzi went for the Toreador Harpy first, because 2 raw neonates with that much respect's like... Yeah.
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 So we
So
blew
that's
up
really were the strongest.
Yeah. So we blew up the Tremere. Actually, I think the Venture are strongest politically. The Tremere were probably the strongest. Either the Tremere or the Bruja were strongest militarily. I think it depends on whether or not it was attack or defense.
It really does. The Chantry was a big part of why the Tremere were so powerful, but they did have respect to rival Ventru. Part of the reason is the Ventru are not as unified as some of the other clans, and they weren't as unified behind the Prince. The Prince had to rule by consensus more than decree,
Yeah.
Yep.
He had a strong Primogen Council, essentially.
Pretty much. I mean, he was in charge, but he was in charge because he was constantly playing them off one against the other, which is also why the city wasn't as unified as it could have been, because that was his style of ruling.
Yeah.
Also why there are like 3 different factions represented at the table: the Bruja, the Gangrel, and the Ventru.
And I'm
So
assuming
did
the
the
Astamite was there
did
for
the Bruja
protection.
and the Venture just decide that the Gangrel should lead negotiations?
That
Or
Gangrel
is he
was the second Harpy, the one that survived.
Ah.
4 elders for Clan Gangrel. 4 elders.
So I just went into a social battleground against someone who specialized in that and held my own, despite having
That's
basically
weird.
no social skills.
Yeah.
I'd
To be
say
fair, he kind of sucked.
Yeah, he had the advantage in that, but you did okay. And he was more focused toward charisma than manipulation, so
Yep.
that's part of what allowed this to be a thing. But he was
Also,
a
he's
good compromise. Yeah, he was a negotiator everyone could live with.
Yeah, also he kind of fucking sucked at his perception, apparently. It's like
had
2
no
dice.
Oh, that's
Can
adorable.
be equally strong at everything. They did treat it essentially as a trio of people doing the negotiations, but the other 2 are just essentially indicating their agreement, yes. Like, they had to agree to the thing to settle on the terms, but they had no problem with that. They were just like, yeah, do it, nod.
It was basically nod, nod, push back here, nod, nod, nod sort of thing.
Mhm. And by the way, this bitch up here is a city gangrel with Auspex 5.
Oh, was she the one that Craftwall ended up getting paranoid about?
Yep.
Uh,
Oh man, the one that Tremere.
what do you think our chances would have been
to attack?
real quick, if we'd actually had to fight these guys,
You would have died.
when he, yeah, probably assumed as much.
Yeah.
The sheriff alone could have hurt you. And yeah, there's an Asamite Elder in there, and he had at least 200 XP as well, so there's like...
Dagon, all the time, everywhere?
What, where?
Dagon, all the time, everywhere?
Again, didn't catch that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was thinking he was
okay,
using the call, if he would have ended up using Call of Dagon all the time.
Call of Dagon. What the fuck are you talking?
Drowned you in your own blood.
Oh, for this? Nah, he would have probably just went to shrunk you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Didn't he have like
right.
5 and everything?
How much XP? 280. Dominate 3, Potence 3, Movement of the Mind 3 with Asamite Sorcery. He's a killer. He's like Batman.
Yeah. If he doesn't have fortitude, I guess I could have killed him, maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on who
I'd
got
have
the
to-
first strike.
I mean, I had essentially guaranteed first strike due to fucking rage point into +20.
Yes,
Yeah.
but abort to defensive action dominate.
Yeah. Still Fang Dagger to face, but I guess I can't spend rage that. Don't how that works. Technically, isn't that round?
It would, on the first round, you wouldn't be able to spend Gnosis if you used Rage to amplify that particular gift.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Fair.
didn't, then, you know, you're good to go.
Still would have been, I think, ahead of him. Whatever.
Mhm.
Endlessly arguing about pointlessness.
Anything
there's a
important for the
small chance that you could have won, but with more ghouls around as well, and a couple of
It's like
neonates
on turn 2
drifting
or
around.
3, the ghouls have turned around and have opened fire. Roll to soak 30 damage total from silver bullets.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, you can't soak, you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what would happen. They
Yeah.
came here with a show of strength. Okay, so
At best,
had
you
a
could
question,
essentially go.
Aro.
Yeah.
How much longer is this? Because I want to eat dinner.
We
it's
can
7.5.
wrap here. This is more a matter of any burning questions you had about what was actually going on in the background, like we usually do after a campaign.
How much XP did Abigor have?
I don't think I gave him XP. I gave him a set amount of lores based on his power level, and for his stats, I just used the Earthbound standard freebie system.
No.
Which
on
means
a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm gonna hop off and go eat. So talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah. You were saying, Chris?
You wanted to ask something. Scale 1 to 10
But
something.
that means, yeah, scale of 1 to 10. How powerful was the Abigor?
Not Quidar levels, but he was powerful. The biggest advantage you had was that he started with like 15 faith in the tank.
Oh, that's like the fuck all.
And he didn't have a cult to begin with. His points went into Horde, Mastery, and Codex. So
Oh, Codex wasn't very useful, was it?
it allows you to roll to see if you remember the true name of a demon you randomly run into. So he might have been able to find someone that was escaped eventually, if you kept this going for much longer.
Yeah, like wait for months or something.
At that point, he would probably have a cult of 2 or 3 dots, as well as worship of at
Yeah.
least 2.
Yeah.
You got him
Good thing we
when
nixed
you
that.
had a chance, yes.
Yeah.
Especially given that he failed the touch of death the first time, so he wasted some faith on that. And then ripping a hole in reality cost some, and then changing the ghoul, or rather the troll cost some, and it added up.
Yeah. He had to spend a lot of it just to try and beat us down, and yet he did almost no damage.
He spent 3 faith throughout that fight.
Yeah. Oh, really?
He went into it
Did he?
with 3.
Oh, yeah. I can just see him not wanting to spend much.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
spend faith on mastery for Fist of Air to fuck up your sept and blow up some of your precious trees.
It's a fucking waste of time.
He wanted you
Yeah.
to scurry around, okay? He was bored.
Fair enough.
No. I mean,
You
I can
actually
understand that.
did the right thing. I was gonna roll for him to find another vessel and just keep on going while you thought he was dead. That was gonna be a thing.
Yeah, we could just break it, but let's just bring it to the experts.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to know?
Did they have a Giovanni?
They did. That's something they actually did have. Yeah, she's one of the other clans. There's like
Assumed as much,
several
'cause
experienced vampires there that are just like, yeah, we're kind of strong.
What kind of like paths did the Giovanni have?
Some Bone Path, Graves Decay, Corpse and Monsters, Sepulcher, Ash, lots of low levels, and maxed out Sepulcher. She was
Cool.
an expert in a lot of different necromancy stuff, like,
Yeah.
you know, skilled
Jack
enough
of all trades.
to cover a lot of needs for a city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. Assuming she wouldn't have gotten much out of like interacting with the Earthbound, other than I want to wear this ring now.
Had like Lore of Radiance, Lore of Fire, Lore of Forge.
Lord of Forge is so bullshit. So many ways.
I know.
Fucking difficulty 3 to hit? Yes. Fucking difficulty 3 to do damage? Yes. Fucking extra point of damage? Yes.
I'm gonna make Abigor's sheet visible to everyone.
I should go to sleep. It's like over 2 a.m.
I know. I'm gonna wrap in a second. So, everyone, that has been our campaign of Werewolf the Apocalypse. We are gonna be starting another mini campaign, as it were. Soon it will either be a Changeling or Hunters Hunted. And, well, we're gonna see how that works out. Mage eventually, after Changeling sometime.
Yeah. Was fun, like nuking things with fucking with that fucking fang dagger. Nuke. It worked at this.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna end the recording here, and I will see you in future campaigns then.